In this group of modules, we're going to learn things such as having great tools to use with affidavits and power of attorneys. For affidavits, most people think of a basic swearing of a dispute reason, but you can up your game with an extra technicality that the credit bureau legal departments do not like to see. When creating an affidavit, you can create an affidavit in support of, sometimes in opposition of, if they sent something back to you. A specific separate attachment, for example, if you attach a photocopied trade line with a highlighted section. This further backs your claim and it usually obliterates an initial response back by the creditor or collector because they cannot follow back with an affidavit that overcomes yours. Having a copy of a police report also is a strong tool to get items deleted. Knowing what to say and what not to say in a police report is tantamount to success. Many police officers would rather not take the report and not be overly helpful. Citizens have the rights here, but many cops will either try to trip you up or sometimes intimidate and bully you, and sometimes even be lazy. So it's very important that you understand the wording. Do not answer their questions. Have a prepared statement and have them only apply that statement. Cops work for us. They are not our boss. Remember that. Cops may further pry, and they just may ask you questions like, do you think you may personally know the person who used your identity? Cops can further probe if you let them. And the next questions are along the lines of, could it have been a coworker or someone from the past or present that you know? Then they tell you that it is a civil matter, and they do not make the police reports for a civil matter. The verbiage that you use on that needs to be precise and needs to be pre-written, with specificity in some areas and ambiguity in others. And it's simple to do once you understand the needed strategic verbiage. Also in this section, dealing with creditors and collector calls. So this next trick is huge if you frequently use your cell phone for work and are getting creditors and collector calls. This trick stops the calls dead in their tracks. We cover how to get an attorney for the very small, limited legal scope of being retained to field creditor and collector calls only. This is the key operative term in the limited scope defined with this specificity. The attorney does not even have to call them back under this agreement. The attorney sets up a separate phone number, and they let the calls keep going to that phone number, and that shields you and takes away from the creditor calls and collection calls because it would be illegal for them to contact you after they've been notified that they're represented for communication purposes. Lastly, in this large group of modules, we cover a variety of disputes, affidavits, power of attorneys, and the best way to set yourself up for credit and debt success with many possible advantages, risks, benefits, as you are now super armed to redefine and redevelop your path for great credit and no debt.
For more credit, debt, foreclosure, and more great tips, subscribe to the channel